Y'all keeping my girl up all night. Wake up, ladies. Wake up.
You said what page?
Well, we're going to be on 259, which is nail tips and forms. We've started on tips last week. Who missed last week? You missed last week. But how y'all be missing these important days? So you just not going to, you're not going to tip no nails. You're going to sculpt them from now on, because that's what you're going to learn today.
Mary, I have already had.
Oh, I heard her phone. Somebody called.
Oh.
I was like, somebody called me.
I have sat in.
Technically, you sat through this one. Okay. No, the last one. Well, this one you did not. So
No.
good. So we're on the same page. All right. So today we're going to talk sculpting. Okay. How many of you guys, which Jasmine is in the bathroom, have tried sculpting before?
I'm scared to.
Why?
I'm scared to, but like.
I was like, what you think it's gonna bite you,
It
honey?
looks hard. It looks.
Wow.
Wow.
It looks hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we did discuss last week some of the reasons why I prefer to sculpt. Okay, because using tips can be time consuming. I know you didn't just yarn in my face like that.
I did. I'm so sorry.
All loud too.
I'm so sorry.
She said, "Oh, you want to go back to bed? You know your mama. She coming with your coffee. Okay, y'all wake up now. I'm gonna make y'all do. We're gonna do. I would say we gotta do like we did in high school or middle school, and stand up and do jumping jacks. Make y'all stand up. Good morning, everyone on the live. My students are sleepy today. I think it's the weather. I'm sleepy too. I'm sleepy too. Listen, I just got up right at 8:15. I kept hitting the snooze button. And I was like, shoot, I washed and dried my hair last night. I ain't even had to do nothing but just comb it and sprinkle a little water on me, a little quick one, real quick, and just go. Brush my teeth, and I was out.
Did you see that roach I found in my bowl?
I saw that.
I went and got my money's back.
She had a roach in her boiled peanuts. That's what you get for going to that country store.
That country store usually has the best bowl peanuts.
Well, you're gonna have to check them. Good morning, Janet. Good morning. Speaking of Janet McCormick, so me and Shayla last weekend, Sunday and Monday, you guys, I don't know if y'all had heard about it. We went to the Nail Carnival. It was a little event that happened out in Atlanta. I didn't quite make it to Nail Carnival. I got there a little late, so I didn't go. But we did our brace class, our BS brace class, which is the brace that you put on toenails when people have ingrown. The BS brace. Well, we got certified to be able to put it on toenails, and Miss Janet was there. And if you don't know who Janet McCormick is, you will by the time you leave here, okay? But this was a great class. Anybody who does feet, I highly recommend that you take it. All right, so I was kind of running my mouth waiting for Jasmine to come back from the bathroom.
Thank you.
You all right? All right. She's all right. Okay. So, we're going to jump right into sculpting. Do you remember, since you were the only one that was here last week, everybody else took a day off, what were some of the reasons why I prefer sculpting? Do you remember?
The consistency of it, like with the retention and stuff.
It lasts longer?
How about the time
Oh yeah.
it takes to put tips on and
Oh, yeah, the prep and stuff.
yeah, and applying the tips and fitting the tips and shaping the tips and clipping the tips and buffing the tips and all of the tips. By the time you did all that, I done laid 5 fingers of sculpted nails already. And you ain't even brought your acrylic out. Okay, so sculpting has its advantages. So let's talk about that today. Okay, let's list some of these advantages to sculpting nails. Can anybody give me any right off top? Some advantages of sculpting nails?
Faster.
Okay, so I said faster. All right. So nail tips. Ooh, why did it look like that? Hold on. Let's do that. How about that? I want that to be bigger. Hold on. You are, that thing making noise and it's getting on my nerve. It's getting on my nerve. I can hear it. Thank you. Hold on. Let me make this a little bigger. Say, there we go. Okay, so sculpting has its advantages. First of all, it is an alternative to nail tips. Okay, you do not have to use tips if you don't want to. You do not have to sculpt if you don't want to. This is completely up to you what you choose to do. Hold on, I need to have my face in there because y'all want to see my face. Let me change this. What'd you say, honey? Well, you just all bamboozled and messed up this morning. What's going on with you? I need the old Olivia back.
The old Olivia back too.
I need you to wake up. All right, so it's an alternative to nail tips, and the way you use them, because a lot of people, they're like, how do I use this? This is so weird. Like, I've never used this before. It's no different, really, than tips. The only difference is you are placing this form underneath the free edge of the nail rather than gluing it to the top of the nail. All right. So this is going to make it so that you can extend the enhancement beyond the fingertip and add length to the nail. Okay. So these forms come in many different shapes, many different sizes, and I have brought several different ones for you guys to see because, you probably only seen the typical, normal or generic nail forms, okay? Just because of what we use in school, they can, depending on the different shapes and lengths and brands, they can get kind of expensive, but I have tons of different ones that you guys can try today and see what you like the best. Some of the advantages, okay? Each nail is going to be sculpted using your client's own natural nails. So this is going to provide a much more natural looking nail when you extend it, okay? Think about, sometimes I like to equate things or use hair as an example with nails and stuff like that. So if you let's just say you just take a wig and plop it on top of your head. You don't do any customizing to it. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Right.
You just put that wig on and you don't do any customizing to it. It just looks the same on you that it looks on everybody else, right? But when you go in and you're like, okay, well, my hairline is a little bit further back, so I'm going to pluck some of that out of there, and I'm going to thin it out and make it look more natural so that it blends in with people don't look at it and go, oh, that's a wig because I can see that hairline, that wig hairline. It's the same thing like when you're using forms. It's much more natural because you attached it to your client's actual natural nail. So the shape of your client's natural nail is then going to be more apparent. Whereas with tips, you lay that tip on top, you're stuck with whatever that tip shape is, okay? Whether it's flat, whether it's C-curved, we talked about that last week, right? Whether or not it is a duck tip, okay? So customizing your nail shapes with a nail form, the possibilities are endless, truly endless, okay? So you're gonna save time by not having to size, shape, blend the tips, okay? And perfecting this particular application style is going to make you very, very, give you an advantage over other nail techs, because I can tell you this, everybody don't sculpt, okay? And there's a lot of clients out there that prefer it, okay? If they've had it once, they always want it, okay? Or they, a lot of clients will let you, they want you to do what you're best at, right? But sculpting, I'm going to charge more for it because I know that it is a service that is not readily available at just every nail salon, okay? I don't know why, but, again, this is kind of one of those things that it takes a little bit more practice and people don't want to do that, all right? So, there's not going to be that many techs in your area that does it, okay? I only know of a few, and those are my students.
There's only one in Swainsboro.
That sculpts?
Mm-hmm.
that you know of. So yeah, you definitely want to master this art. So there's different types of nail forms out there, okay? Most of the nail forms that you're going to come across are going to be disposable nail forms, the type that you can throw away after every client, which I personally highly recommend using, okay? Now, they're going to be made of a paper or a thin polyester film called mylar, and they're coated with an adhesive on the back of them, so that way they stick together, okay? And that adhesive backing is very important that you get some quality forms that have really good adhesive on the back, because the most annoying thing in the world is applying a form and it popping open right mid laying your acrylic, okay? So you want to make sure that you got some good quality forms, and forms that are not haven't been sitting in a warehouse for a hot warehouse for months and then the adhesive gets bad. I've had that happen to me before. All right, they're usually sold in 100 to 500 count rolls. Here's an example of one that's how they come in rolls like this. Okay, sometimes manufacturers will take them and roll them out, like have them on a flat. Let's see, that's an example of that. For instance, when I bought these, they were not on a roll. They just came like this, okay? I guess they were being cheap and counting them out and selling them in 50 packs rather than 500 packs or whatever, charging you just as much, all right? They resemble like a sticker on a piece of paper, you know, when you buy stickers, okay? That's what they resemble. So how do you apply these? Has anybody ever applied a nail form before or seen one applied properly? Yeah, here. Yeah, Miss Mary showed me. Okay. All right. So I'm going to show you exactly how it's done. I'm going to do basically a demonstration on how it's done. Okay. But just to give you a quick rundown, you're going to peel that form off of that paper and kind of roll it between your thumbs so that it gets a nice little curve to it. So when you put it on the client's finger, you know, their finger's not flat like a piece of paper. So you kind of want to curve it. You roll it a little bit and stick it onto the nail. I mean, there's several different ways to apply it. All right. It's kind of important that you have a slight amount of free edge on the client's nail. Makes it a little easier, but there's ways around that as well. Okay. If the client does not have a free edge on their nail. And then what's very, very important, we talked about this last week, is making sure that the form is straight and that it does not curve down. Again, we are talking about salon style nails, okay? I don't want anybody in the chat, because the chat is my co-host and they like to talk trash and give me something to say, but I don't want to hear anybody say, oh, when you're doing a Russian almond, you're supposed to tip it up. I know that, okay? We are talking about salon style sculpting here, okay? Something simple, basically simple, all right? So we got to make sure that that form is completely straight. And you see all these lines on these forms. I mean, have you guys ever really looked at a form before and said, well, like, what is all these lines for, right? They're guidelines. They're there for a reason, okay? Let me pull these out so you guys can. So these are the ones that you will be using in school, okay? Because Miss Mary ain't about to buy y'all no expensive forms for y'all to just tear up and throw away. Okay? That's so sweet. Take some of these, pass them down so that everybody can see what they look like. So when you're looking at these forms, what do you immediately see? On this particular form, all right, let me put this over here. On this particular form, what do you see? Talk to me now.
A little line down the middle,
Okay. You see lines that go down.
like where you tear it apart at the top.
Okay. So you see lines. Right, you talking about right here?
A little dot. Little dot.
Okay. So we're gonna call this the top, or we're gonna call this the top? Which one? So I'm with y'all. Down here. So this is, we'll say, is this closer to the cuticle and this is the free edge, or vice versa?
No, that's right.
This is closer to the cuticle. Okay, so this area, this little hole right here that you see, that's where the finger goes in. And I'm so you guys are lucky. I actually broke my fingernail so I can show y'all how to put these. Boop, boop. Yeah, I broke my fingernail just so y'all can know. I didn't, but I did break it. So, all right. So, this area we will just say is the free edge, where the free edge of the nail or the tip of the nail is created, and then this is where the cuticle is. So you'll notice here, and let's see. Yes, okay, you guys can see that. You'll notice here that there is, when you peel it off, there's a little circle here. What is that circle for? Or why is that there? Well, the truth is you really don't have to use it, okay? But there is one, advantage to using this little piece right here, okay?
Keep it closed.
It's to keep it closed. She's so loud and wrong.
Not me this time.
It's to keep it closed. Keep what closed, baby? What you mean? I want you to show me what you mean. She said it's to keep it closed. Keep what closed?
I thought
It's all right. I love it when y'all be loud and wrong. It's usually Olivia. She be like, I can hear her right now saying that it's to keep it closed. French tip. All right. We not too much on me. On TikTok. Okay. So this is what we normally. Yeah, unlearn it real quick for me today, okay? So you can take this to reinforce, you can use this to reinforce the form. Because when you do this right here, because this is how we're going to apply it to the client's nail, right? We're going to put their finger through that hole. But when you bend this, what you don't want for it to do is for it to collapse. Meaning you squeeze it too much and then it got a dent in it or a big divot, okay? So if you take this and apply it to the back, and it don't have to be straight, it don't have to be nothing, okay? Just apply it to the back like that, and that's going to give you a little bit of thicker of a form. So when you do roll it like this, it'll stay, because this is just an aluminum on top of a paper, very thin aluminum, so it will hold that shape a little bit. You see how it's a little bit more rounded now, and it'll, well, if you look from this, you can see it's a little bit more rounded. We don't want it flat. Now, these lines have a purpose, okay? What do you think the purpose of it is?
The length of the nail.
Which ones? What you talking about, the horizontal lines or the vertical lines? Vertical means this way. Horizontal means this way. So the horizontal lines, absolutely. So when you talk to your client and you say, what did we say last week, Jasmine, about length, the nails? Y'all want to see too? You need to go to either Facebook or to YouTube so y'all can see, okay? What did we say about which the fingers that need to have, you need to measure out your nails with, your client's nails with? Should they say when you put the form on the thumb, you say, well, what length do you want it? And they say, oh, I want it to the 3 right there. Is that going to be right on all of the nails? Why?
Like these 3 are always the same length, and you need to go down 1 for your pinky and up 1 for your thumb. And I've been practicing that all week long, and I tell you, you can see the difference.
See?
I'm just out here messing up people's nails.
See, look at you. You got your whole life just coming to school for the cheap price of $6,000. See? For the very cheap, for the very low price of $59.99.99. Look at there. See? Look at God.
Like that was real.
Because if I put it on this finger right here, okay, this is a perfect example. Okay, these are Gel X. Remember I told y'all these are Gel X, so they're all supposed to be the same length, right? Mm-hmm. Well, they are, but look at here. When you put this on my finger, this goes a little bit above the 2. It's like in between. Okay, y'all, it's in between. Hold on, let me focus. Focus, man. It's in between it's almost to the 3. almost to the 3. And y'all, you probably can't see that because it's a little far away, but it's almost to the 3. It's kind of in between. But when I put this on my thumb, y'all, it barely make it to the 2. So what does that tell you? What you just said. You're going to go down a number with the thumb. We're at the 3, right? So what do you think the pinky's going to be? I'm sorry. We go up and up. Right, go down. Right, because this is going to this looks like it's too short, doesn't it? If I put it on here. But they're actually, all of them are actually the same length.
So wait, for the 3?
They should all be, like, if, let's just say the client say they want their nails to a 3.
Okay.
On that one, right?
Uh-huh.
They want the length to be at a 3. Well, when you do your pinky, you're going to have to go down a number, because if you do the pinky at a 3, it's going to be way too long, right? And then when you do the thumb, you're going to go up a number. And this isn't even really on my finger good. There we go.
Pinky is down, thumb
there
is
it
up
is.
a number.
Yeah. And that's just a ballpark, right? Just so that way when you are doing it, because if you do all of them at a 3, that pinky and that thumb are going to look weird. They're not going to look right, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, the lines here, like you said, going horizontal, that's the length, right? So the client says they want their nails at whatever number, okay? And I always have them put the form on that middle finger so that they can choose the number. Now, when I'm sculpting their nails, they say they want a 3, I'm going to do a 4.
Because you're going to have to file.
You got to leave yourself some filing room. But not only that, they always say, oh, it's a little too short. You can always go shorter. You can file down some, right? You don't want to go back and add. I mean, you could, but it would be difficult, and I'm not doing that. Sorry, ma'am. You said 3. 3 is where you at today. Next week, they'll be at a 4, okay? You done made me waste my time. All right? Now, the lines on the side, though, these lines right here, what are they for? What do you think they are for? Okay. So, like, for instance, if the client wanted a square nail, you're going to try to stay on the line? Well, that's wrong. Don't listen to Jasmine. She said, just say yeah. That's wrong. Wrong. Okay?
And that's what happens when you're
She was quiet. At least you was quiet and wrong this time, she said. Okay, so let's look at this from let's get a closer look at this. Okay? Let's get a closer look. Let me bring this down some. Mary Beth, you leave Mary Beth alone. Mary Beth went to get you some breakfast, and I should have told her to bring me some coffee too. All right. She did ask me, but I ain't gonna bother. Okay. I didn't want it. Now I want it. All right. Okay. Okay. So if we do what Olivia said, and we use this at these sidewalls or these lines as a guideline, well, if I stay on this line right here, my nails are gonna be too wide because my sidewalls right here, they're stopping right here, right? Let's see if I can zoom in a bit.
Is that to map out the size of the nail?
Well, these lines on the side here are not for keeping your shape, okay? Because someone else even said it here, side walls, right? So let's look at this. Look at this one on this side, and you'll be able to see it better. If I follow the line here, I'm gonna be coming off of my sidewalls a bit. Or if I follow this line right here, I'm gonna be way too down low on my nail's gonna be like it's got an overhang there. That's not what those lines are for. You, as the nail tech, determine the shape. Now, they are a guide. They will help you because if you see on that other side and you look at this one, look, there's tons of different shapes on here, right? There's square. There's a almond shape to kind of help you as a guideline. But if you stay within those guidelines, like you coloring in a coloring book, you're going to mess around and have some nails that might be too big for the actual nail. But again, it is a guideline. So you can use it as a guideline, but that's not necessarily what they're for. What they are for is so that you know that this form is on straight. So if I put this form on, and I'm just throwing it on here real quick, I'm not even trying to like do it completely straight. If I put this form on, you see the black, we'll just use that black line at the bottom. Is that nail, let me hold my finger straight. Is that form on straight, or is it tipping downward?
I would say it's kind of tipping downward.
It's absolutely tipping downward. You know why it's tipping downward? Because I didn't open up the back here. So that because I can't pull it, I can't make it go up. It won't go up no more because this back isn't open. Okay, so I see a lot of nail techs do this right here. Okay, so I teach you guys, not to mention, is this on straight? Look at that, because you want to find that middle line. That middle line is going kind of that way, isn't it? Okay, so what I teach you guys to do, make your lives easier. Okay, move this out the way. Go ahead and squeeze this closed a little bit, just a little bit. You see this hole, right, this opening right here? That if I leave that open, I'm going to have a square shaped nail. Okay, it's going to be a square shaped nail. Someone said I'm echoing. Echoing where? On YouTube or on TikTok? All right, so if I were to pinch this some more, okay, pinch this some more at the tip, what would I get if I pinched it like this and I started laying acrylic? It wouldn't be pointy. It wouldn't be pointy. It would be more coffin, right? Because if you look at it from this view, from above, isn't that going to be more coffin? All right. Now, if I take it and I squeeze it all the way shut, what am I getting now? A stiletto. Remember last week when I said true stilettos are sculpted? This is what I mean. Okay, now when you are trying to sculpt a stiletto on someone who wants a nail at a 4, then what do I need to do in order to make sure my stiletto tip stops at the 4? Squeeze it to the 4. Okay, so this is the difference with when you're laying different shapes. With sculpting a square, you don't have to pinch the nail or pinch the form to the length. You're just going to lay it with the form open to the number 4. But with a stiletto or with a coffin, you would close it a little bit, and depending on how narrow the client wanted their coffin is how much you would pinch it. But you would never pinch it completely closed unless you were doing a stiletto. So with the stiletto, if my client wanted it to a 4, I would go right to that 4 line and pinch it right there. So now look. So now when I lay that stiletto, it's going to have a point. And remember our C curve that we talked about? It's going to run all the way to the tip. And these will be the strongest stilettos you've ever had. Okay? They're not going to break at the tip like they do when you are doing using a tip. Because remember, a tip is flat. And even when you cut it, it's still flat. Whereas here, it's got a C curve all the way clean to the tip. Okay, so when you apply this, let's just say, okay, my client, she wants stiletto. I went ahead, when you want to see how I put these forms together where there's literally no, it's like there's no space, no gap. I did it perfectly. You're not always going to do it perfectly, okay, but you want to, because that matters. You want your forms on straight. So now open this up in the back. So when I said that these lines are not for your shaping, because what do we need them lines for stiletto? You got to eyeball it. You better eyeball it and look at it, just like you do when you're cutting the tip. You eyeball it, shape it, and do all that, right? So when I put this on, I'm going to open up the little legs right here. See them? And we're going to put the finger in there. Now, I got a little free edge on mine, so that helps, right? Now, before I close the legs, because remember there's stickers on here, so it's not really moving that bad. It's not moving. I want to make sure that this line is in the middle, so shift it over a little bit, Mary, because it's not in the middle. And we're lining this up with the middle of the client's finger, not the nail, because you know some people's nail go like that. Your nail crooked, honey. Okay, we want to try to straighten it. This is where you're going to have the ability to straighten that client's nails out. All right, so we're going to keep that line straight down the middle, okay, of the full finger, okay. And then look at it this way. Now you see how that, my finger's sticking straight out. Is that not tipped down? Is it tipped down? It's tipped down. So what I want to do is I want to bring this up until that line is straight. Meaning this, any of these guidelines, because they're straight, we know they're straight. So we want to tip this up until, now you see it? See how the line, the black, even the black line down at the bottom, it needs to be straight. So then once you get it straight, then you're going to stick the forms to the legs to your finger. You see that? That's what those guidelines are for, so that you can put your form on completely straight. So now when I look at this from the top, you see that gap? You should have some form of gap, okay? Some form of gap for these shapes, because this is what I see students do all the time. And see, you see her over there messing up all them forms? See what I'm saying? That's why I don't buy the expensive ones, because y'all just be playing with them like they don't cost nothing. She over there just she experimenting, that she wouldn't have to if she was watching me.
I was following along.
She just over there messing up forms, just using I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. You know these things. I buy these things by the 500 roll, okay? So now, let's do it again. So what I'm going to do, before I'm going to go ahead, I put my little reinforcer back here, okay? And you, like I said, you can roll it a little bit, give it a little roll so that it'll go on the finger a little bit better, okay? Now, go ahead and attach the very tip of it like this, okay? Just gently. See how we got it on both sides? There's no white showing right here. So I got it on there pretty straight, okay? Now, what I see you guys do all the time is you'll put this on, okay? And then you do this. Even if you open up the top, you still end up sticking these tabs together. And then what's wrong about this? It's tilted down. And then when you tilt it down like that, what you'll see here, let's see how close I can get so that y'all can see this. You have a gap right there. Ooh, my fingernail dirty. But you see the gap? You see the gap? If there's a gap, then what happens when you lay the acrylic? The acrylic goes under there, under that gap, and then what you end up with is a little ledge that gets caught on everything. And the nail ends up, remember, we want acrylic on top of the nail, not under the nail, okay? If you're watching this live on TikTok or any other, you need to go to either Facebook or YouTube so you can see. I don't care about y'all TikTok people. I want y'all to be on YouTube. That's where the money at. Go on over there. Okay? You don't know? If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Now, here is another problem that you guys have with forms. Okay? So I'm gonna take this off. Now, how do you remove a form? Anybody know? So that you don't hurt your client. Open up them legs. Okay. Squeeze it to remove it from the form. And then pull down. Don't just snatch it off. Don't yank it off. That can hurt. It can hurt. Oh, someone said that was mean. Oh. They said I was mean because I told them to go to YouTube. Oh. Honey, you don't have YouTube, honey. Are you mad? You mad because I don't care about TikTok? I just got off TikTok restriction. Okay? TikTok I ain't playing with TikTok no more. I get on here so I can show y'all where to go. Now, if you don't want to go to YouTube because you're too lazy to click the YouTube button on your phone and go over there and search my name, that's on you. You can sit here and just look at my beautiful face if you want to, but if you really want to learn, go over there. At the end of the day, y'all in here for free. I shouldn't even be showing y'all this. How about that? So, you ain't seen me yet. All right. Now, what was you about to say, honey? Nah. They can't get no license. They can sit here and watch all day long, but they ain't gonna get no license. So let me show y'all something. So you see these scissors here. These are not for trimming cuticles, okay? Remember, we do not cut cuticles. I know y'all see that all the time. Remember what I told you? Do we cut cuticles? Why do we not cut cuticles? Okay, let's call it what it really is. Is it a cuticle? What they're cutting? It's living skin. And what is that living skin called? That is, if you're cutting epinicium, you way back there. You deep. It's that big one, long one that I will accept the abbreviation. PNF. What that mean? No, collateral. What is a collateral? Peripheral? Proximal nail file. Okay, thank you. So she done said perimeter. The perimeter, I don't even think that's a word, baby. Okay. The proximal nail fold. Okay, that's what that's called. So that's not what these are for, although you will see people doing that. If you do that, you are taking a risk, are you not? Because you are now going way beyond your scope of practice. Yep, you over there in infection town. Okay. All right. So what these are for is, what they're actually for is for customizing your forms. Okay, I guess you could do other things with it too, but we use them to customize our forms. All right. So when you apply a form onto a client, this is usually where you have a problem. You put the form on, right? And you're like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead, snap this form on here. Let me open this up. We're just gonna do a square nail. And what I like to call this problem that you have is muffin top nails. Y'all know what a muffin top is? Mm-hmm. Why you say it like that? You got one or two or four? I got a whole top and go all the way around. So what do I mean by that, muffin top nails? Well, when you, yeah, you right. You on the right track. Fat. A little extra juice. A little extra. Okay, so let's look at what I'm talking about here. Okay. So you see this part of the form that's sticking out right here at the free edge. Right here. See all of this right here. Right? Well, that's like the fat that hangs over your jeans when you know you need to go buy a size 16 and you trying to hold on to them 14s like me. Right? So what do you do if you real ghetto and like me, and you don't want to go buy the 16s because you feel like the 14s feel real good on your butt and your thighs, and if you go to a 16, they're going to be flapping in the back, so you just want to relieve some of that pressure. What do you do? How you do that? You cut a little slit right there at the waistband, right? You cut a little slit. Right there, just snip it. Right there. Just snip a little snip, right? So what can I do here? Because, woo, these jeans are way, I want them to fit nice. I want them to fit nice, right? I want to get rid of that little muffin top on the top. So I'm going to relieve some pressure from this form. So what would I do? I'm going to take my scissors, okay, and I'm going to snip a 45-degree angle. What's a 45-degree angle? Okay, so if this is straight, we're going to do half of that.
Okay.
So 90 degree is this way. 45 would be cutting it right in the middle, straight down, right? So what I'm going to do here with my scissors is, and I wouldn't do this on the client because you might cut them, but you see where I'm going right there? Right where the sidewall meets the form, okay? So it might be easier if I draw this, and this is something that you guys can, you know, do as a, you would do this as a more advanced technique. You see this little white gel pen? I'm giving y'all a whole advanced class right now that I don't normally do in here, okay? But if you're having problems cutting your forms, what you do, you take one of these little gel pens right here, okay? And we're going to draw almost like a, hold on, I got to activate it. It's been sitting for a minute. There we go. We're going to, like, because your forms need to fit like a puzzle piece, right? So what we're going to do to make our lives easier is we're going to draw a little line around this form. You see the white line? Y'all see it? I'm trying to do this with my non-dominant hand, okay? And draw this around the form, okay? You see how I did that? Now I can take this off and look at that. You see that? It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle piece, okay? Now watch what I do. So I'm going to go ahead, see where that line is, where that's right where my free edge sidewall start, right? So I'm going to snip just to that black. You see how I did that? Snip right there. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Snip. All right. And then when I put this on, you see those little, see how it's got a little wing sticking out right there? You see that? It's a butterfly. I'm going to put this back on my client very, very carefully, okay? So now, when I put this on, we want to make sure it's in the middle, right? We did that. We want to make sure that it's straight before we stick this down. All right, so we stuck that down. And now, look at that. When I squeeze it, see my little slit so my muffin top is not sticking? So now, can you see the black that was there before is now gone? So now I'm going to get a nice, slim acrylic nail rather than one that's like this, all bulky and fat on the sides. Make sense? That's also going to give you more room to now have a perfect C curve. You see that C curve? Look at that. So had I put it on the old-fashioned way, like Khadijah's doing back there, got it all tilted down. She about to do her some ski slope nails, right? But
I was about to come down and ask you if it's right.
no, you know how? Because what she do wrong that I said everybody does.
What? What did I do?
You ain't got a gap.
You
I
can.
pinched it.
Yep, you ain't gotta do that. That's, you don't want that. You see how? See my gap? If you squeeze it and you've got a little pinch at the top, then it's going to naturally make your form tilt downward, isn't it? So that is an advanced sculpting skill that I don't normally teach you guys, okay? But I feel like it's one of those things that a lot of nail techs get wrong. Now, there are forms. Let's look at some other forms, because there are forms out here that are already made like this. And you have probably seen them and was like, I don't even know why it's cut like that. Okay? So if I were to open this up, you would see, let me see if I can open it up without tearing it, because these are real sticky. Yeah, there we go. If I open this up, you will see, if I just, because you can do this, you can just trim that little black piece off like that. What shape do we have now on this form? What does it look like? Look at that. You see that? Look at the little, let me lay it down. Look like a cat head, don't it? Or I call it the Snapchat ghost. Let me do like this. You see how we trimmed out the black? See how we trimmed out the black out of that, and now it's got little ears on it. Can you see that now?
Oh, okay.
Right? Now, some forms, for instance, like these, which is some of my favorite forms, these are Max Estrada's forms. Okay. Everybody know who Max Estrada is? King of Nail? You don't know King of Nail? You should know King of Nail. Okay. That's what he calls himself, King of Nail.
Just one nail?
Yeah,
Just one. Just one. Okay. King of Nail. But I love his forms because look at here.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. It's already there. Now, this is convenient for people who have high hyponychiums, right? Because now when I put this form on, let's go ahead and close it. When I put this form on, open up the back. And these are very thick. Okay, you want them thick. When you put this form on, you can see that it's already got the relief cuts. We call those relief cuts, by the way. It's already got the relief cuts in it. So when I put this on, all I got to do is close everything. It is not, but he does love Hello Kitty. He if you don't know who King of Nail is, you need to look him up. Max Estrada. He used to be Mexican, but now he's Japanese.
How does one do that?
He's trans-Mexican.
Oh, period.
He has turned himself into a Harajuku Barbie man. He speaks Spanish. He speaks English. He speaks Japanese. He speaks like 17 different languages. He's very highly intelligent, and he is a beautiful person. Literally. Like, I met Max Estrada. I met him, and he was shining and glistening like a Greek god or something, a Japanese Greek god. And I asked him, I was like, what is that highlighter? He was like, it's crushed pearls. I was like, get the hell out of here. You are fabulous. But Max Estrada, King of Nail, one of the most amazing nail distributors out there, okay? But he will tell you that he used to be Mexican. Now he is actually Mexican, but he has changed his whole look. When you look at him, you would think he was like a Japanese person, okay?
What was that name of that lady that used MMA and not EMA?
Oh, lovely Mimi.
No,
That's
think
her.
I can't remember if it was her, but there's one nail lady on TikTok. Like, she did awesome nails, and all of a sudden she just poof, gone.
That happens. It happened to me. I disappeared too, and then I had to get some more followers so I could go live. They do like that. All right. So these forms are awesome, and notice this when what you want is the form. Look, you see how this form ain't moving? You see that? A torrential storm could come through here, and this form ain't going nowhere. They need to be secure. Is that right? Look, she's trying to get my attention. Like, I can see that far. She don't see these big ass goggles on my eyes. Like, I can see that far. Yeah, that looks good from here. So you want a sturdy form, okay? You want a good sturdy form. Good morning, everybody that is on Facebook. Let's see this little message here. I'm about to take my state boards for cosmetology, and we didn't have a teacher that knew much about nails, and we have to build a nail. Thank you so much for sharing, because I do nails but self-taught. You needed this. Good. Awesome. Good morning, Tammy Beaver. Thank you so much for being here. All right. So now that we have the form on, so now you guys understand straight down the middle, guidelines straight, okay? And try to have a little gap here. Now, like I said, there are instances where it may come together and but this ain't it, okay? We're not getting into exotic shapes today, okay? That's a whole nother class, all right? So, those are on there, right? Let's look at some other types of forms, because there are other types of forms out here. You got reusable forms as well, y'all. Reusable. Have you ever seen a reusable form? All right, these are awful, but this is an example of the reusable forms. And again, I'm not fixing to use these, but I bought them for purposes to show you. Now, when I got these and I started playing with them again, I said, these would really be good for a certain shape. These are metal, right? Or aluminum, okay? So what you do here, you can't customize them, you can't cut them, you can't do none of that. But you put this on here, and then you wrap it around the... Now, how you even going to lay the acrylic by the cuticle is what I want to know. But what shape do you think these would be great for? Duck. Look at that. Because you can't even really... look, I can't even close it all the way. It's no sticky. It's not sticky. So you're going to get a very wide nail. So I said, well, if I was going to use these, I would use these for duck nails. Because look, you can even make it even wider. Look at that. Super wide. But you got a little curve in there, which I don't see a lot in those duck foot nails. Right? So I feel like these would be good for that. But again, you cannot customize these. You can't cut them. And then you would have to sterilize or sanitize them if you were going to use them on a client. Okay? So there's that. Anybody want to play with them or touch them real quick? No, y'all don't want to touch my forms. Okay. I brought them all the way down here for y'all to touch them, and y'all don't even want to touch them. Thank you. Touch my forms. Ungrateful little children.
Yeah, let's all touch her.
Y'all ungrateful little children. Touch the forms. I bought them for y'all so you could touch them.
I've never seen these though.
Hey, y'all. Nuh-uh, Ashley, get off my live. You supposed to be here today. She says she coming on Saturdays now. Them kiddos got to be going to school. They're virtually touching. Y'all want to see? I got some more. Look, I got some more. Look, I paid $6 for them not to touch them. They touching them. Y'all try them on your finger. But these are the reusable forms. Y'all on live, go ahead and touch them real quick.
Yeah, I really don't see how you would get to the cuticle.
You can't even get to the cuticle. Like, it's not I guess you would have to pull it out some. I don't know. These were very popular back in the 80s and the 90s, okay? All right. So, those are your reusable forms, okay? Now, we talked about the different shapes, right? We already talked about that. But with forms, your shapes are endless, right? Have you guys seen like the exotic shapes that I mentioned a couple of, well, y'all weren't even here last week. The shapes that we mentioned last week, some of the exotic shapes that are out there, they have to be done with forms, okay? Now, just to reiterate, let's talk about this properly structured nail real quick again. Y'all remember the proper structure of the nail? Well, they don't, so let's talk about it real quick. So in order for you to have a properly structured nail, you need to have a few things. Number one, your arch, your stress area. Where is that going to go? Where does your stress area belong? Jasmine, since you were here last week.
Your apex by your cuticle, right above your cuticle. Not right above it, but...
Remember, it's a math equation. Remember the math equation?
The 3 parts.
Right, so because it can't just always be right behind the cuticle, because sometimes your nail's extra long and you need more stress, more acrylic a little bit further out, right? Mm-hmm. So remember the math equation. In the back third, or the front of the back, which depends on how you want to call it, right? But let's draw it real quick, just for purposes of Khadijah and also Olivia. Okay, let me put this up here. Let's draw it real quick. So, remember, you got your nail, right? You got your nail. And if the client, you don't put it, sculpt, your client says they want, we're sculpting now, so let's just say they want it out to here. Long nail. We want long nail, honey. Right, it's flat right now because we don't want a flat nail though, right? We want it to have an apex, which is the highest point of the nail. All right, come on up here, Jasmine, and show me where it is. Yeah, well, you're the only one that was here. You feel like you actually in school right now? Well, good, because you are. We drawing on the whiteboard. Okay, remember how we do it. We find the cuticle, 1. Now that's 2 parts, see?
1.
How many pieces is your nail?
3. Wait, I thought we were doing, wait, 1, 2.
So remember, we're gonna use this middle piece to help us find the.
Right here?
And then right there.
Right there.
So now,
Delete that and delete her too. Okay.
no, you was gonna keep that.
Oh, we're gonna keep her too. Sorry, guys.
We need 3 we need 3 portions of the nail, right? So hold on. Let's do this again.
Yeah, let's
So
get
you
right.
got.
Oh wait, I know what I did. And
So we're gonna break it up into 3 equal parts. So you would just be like here, okay? So boom, boom, 3 equal parts. Because when you do it down the middle, you end up with
2 parts.
2 parts. All right. So the apex, depending on the length of the nail, is in the back third because we got 1, 2, 3. Right.
Okay.
This is the back third. Some people would say it's the front third, but it's the back of the nail, okay? Slope it on up. There you go. Up, stop. There you go. So, the apex is here, right? That's the highest point of your nail. So if you're doing a square or a coffin or something like that, it's going to, you're going to lay your acrylic, tuck it in right at the cuticle, and then we're going to go up, 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 stop right there, highest point, and then come straight out. So now your nail looks, yeah, what we don't want is those speed bump nails, because I see them all the time. You got your nail, looks like this. What is that? I don't know. Y'all like it? I love it. I don't know. I can't get down with that. All right. Now, from what you just saw, Olivia, what if the client wants a short nail? What if they want, because this is where y'all have problems, right? Y'all end up with these big, thick, short nails. Because you're like, where's my apex? Stop worrying about that so much. If the client wants a shorter nail, okay, it's the same mathematical equation, exactly the same. I don't know why they're trying to get me to put this puzzle piece in here. Perfect, and I can't. There we go. Okay.
She's a robot. She can't do it.
Right. The client wants a short nail, so let's just say she wants her nail right here. Where's my apex gonna be? Come on up. Yeah, you. Khadijah next. Khadijah next. Khadijah's next.
Do we still do
You're gonna break it up into 3 portions. So that means 4 lines.
one like right here?
So the first line is at the cuticle area, exact cuticle area. And one of them is right there at the tip.
Oh, that's not 10%.
She can't see. There you go. And then break that up into 3. So it's got to be 2 more line, 1 more line. You just
My lines ain't going straight.
Yeah, because you ain't straight. You crooked.
so I can't pay my
That's
nail
right.
bill.
Don't go to work.
Okay. Well, your bills ain't gonna get paid.
All right. So look, 2 lines to make it equal.
Okay.
Boom, boom. Good enough. Now, where's your apex go? Remember I said it goes up to the, so we're going up, up, up. Goes from cuticle up, right there, boom, and then straight out. See that? So your apex on a shorter nail is gonna be closer to the back of the cuticle area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your apex is right here. Short apex. All right, come on up here, big booty Judy.
Everybody in the chat. Wait,
Oh, they about to get a show.
They like, oh, we want to see this big booty Judy. Come on, big booty Judy. All right. You can believe it. All right, we're gonna do us about a extra long nail here. Okay, give you some room to mess up.
Because you know there will be
No,
hair.
just remember, one line goes at the cuticle, one goes at the tip, and then find the middle. All right. Okay, and then one goes all the way at the tip. She gonna eyeball it. That's fine. And where the other one go? Because you need 4 lines. Okay, so that's your three sections. You got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Where does the apex go? There you go. Going up, 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 up. Stop, and then straight out. Straight out. Boom. That's how you're going to lay your acrylic. You see that? So, do we have a longer apex here than we did with that little short nail?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a longer apex, not necessarily higher. I think that's where a lot of people get things confused. They're like, oh, well, I need it to be big because it's a long nail. No, you don't. That's what, now you got a speed bump. Okay? Now you got, it's way too high and it looks funny. All right? So, we got our apex and where that belongs, okay? Now, what about our sidewalls? Remember, sidewalls are very important. You see this sidewall right here? It goes straight out, as straight as I can draw it, anyhow. Now, if you don't have sidewalls, what can happen? What if I take my file and I don't hold it straight, I hold it kind of angled?
You're gonna get a little cut.
You get a little notch right there, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's weak right there and it gets caught on everything and then you can't, right, and then you're like, how did I, so we want to use our file like it's a pizza cutter, right? We want to make sure that we hold it straight. If you're not holding your file straight, your nails are not going to be straight, honey. Your nail crooked, honey. Okay, you want straight nail, hold your hand straight, honey. Now, that's where those guidelines come into play when you're laying your forms or putting your forms on the nail. So, because we see these nails now, they're very popular. These ones that do like this. Well, it's a look, right? I mean, some people like those curved nails like that, right? The problem with a curved nail, it's not that it doesn't, because I mean, it looks good, right? It's the same. I mean, if you like it, I love it. Problem is, it's not properly structured. So that nail, thank you so much, Nadi. That nail is going to break at some point. It's not going to be as strong. Now, I didn't say it 100%. It's absolutely going to break, but the chances are it's going to break if you do not have a straight sidewall or sidewalls missing, whatever shape you do, okay? Again, a structured nail is going to have straight sidewalls, an apex or an arch in the proper area, okay? Now, with the nail extension underside, this is where you get into your sculpted nails, because we don't really have that problem with the tips. Remember, we're just glue a tip on. You don't have any acrylic on the underside. But if you have a form on, one that's shaped like this, there's going to be an issue, isn't there, with acrylic getting down into, let me pull up my camera here so y'all can see. There's going to be an issue. What's going to be my issue if I've got a gap? Let's see. This fancy? But the form? Let's see. Let me put this overhead. What's going to happen? You see that little hole right there? Hold on. Very tiny hole. There we go, right there. You see it? Can y'all see it? The little gap right there? Let me see.
I think this coffee's making me sleepier.
Let me see if I can get closer. There we go. You see the
between your nail and
the gap between my nail and the form, because remember this form has a little hole in it from where the look, the Snapchat goes. Okay,
Right.
so see how the shape of the Snapchat is sticking out like that. There's a tiny little gap, tiny. So what's gonna happen when I lay acrylic right there? It's gonna fall down into that gap, and then I've got acrylic underneath right here, and that means I've got more acrylic under the nail than I probably do on top of the nail, right? And that can cause it to be weak. All right, so we want to make sure that when because I did it with this one, right? I cut out the shape. It's a little harder to do on these, so these are definitely more professional. But if for instance with this one I've got that gap, what you can do is cut. You got to cut this same shape, this little bit out of this form right here to make it fit my nail perfectly, right? Wouldn't I? So now you get a much better fit when you have a form that's too big, like this gold one. See, now this fits perfect on my finger. It's like a piece. It's like a. I prefer if I'm so clients with high hyponychiums, like your fingernails, these would fit really good because you've got a nice oval shaped nail. But if you have a client that has a wide square shaped finger, they make forms for that, by the way. So let's look at these. So I am like some of y'all prefer tips, I prefer sculpting. So I have several different shape forms. Look at these forms. What do you notice about these?
That's the thumb nail.
This is the form that you're gonna put on somebody who has square shaped nail beds. Okay? Because if I put this, I would say my nail bed is a normal oval shape. If I put this on my finger right now, what's gonna happen? Look, it don't even go from sidewall to sidewall. It's a big gap right there in my sidewall. Right? It's not attaching. So in order for me to make this one fit, I could make it fit, right? What would I do? I'd have to customize it, wouldn't I? I'd have to take my little marker and go around my finger, which I can do that. I can take my little pen here, go around and mark where I need to cut, and then cut that out with my scissors. It's a lot of work, right? Now I got to go in here and trim this out so that it'll fit my finger. And now look at there. You see it now? You can see that it fits. It needs to go all the way to the sidewall. If it's not jammed up to that sidewall, you're going to have acrylic gap down in there and you can't get it out. You won't be able to get it out, and it will end up catching on everything, your hair, your clothes, and then it ends up breaking. Okay? So that underside of the nail is very important. You want it to be smooth. Okay? Smooth underside. And that part happens when we sculpt. Okay? Thank you, ladies. Okay. So the last thing that you need for your nail shape or your nail to be properly structured is the thickness of the nail is important, right? And I think you guys don't pay attention to that a lot when you're new. You just lay in the acrylic and you're just looking at it and trying to make sure you get it on there. But you're not really paying attention to how thick should a nail be, Jasmine?
It should be thick at all. Not thin.
What did we use as a reference? what did we use as a reference? Because I told y'all a credit card, right?
Yeah.
But not just any old credit card.
Black card.
Oh, she said a black card. I ain't quite that rich. I ain't quite there yet. And I can show this because it ain't got no numbers on it, right? This is an American Express Platinum business card, okay? This is a little bit thicker than a regular card, okay? It's a metal card. So, you see the thickness of that? I can't even bend this card because, like I said, it is a metal card. But that's the thickness that you want on your nails. And a lot of these, maybe a hair thicker than that if you were going to do it. But this thickness is the bare minimum of what you need on a nail when it's properly structured. When it has a C curve, it does not have to be thick, right? And I mean, if you look at my nails right now, aren't they about that thick? They're not overly thick, and these are Gel X, okay? So a lot of times your tips will end up being as thick as this, right? And we don't need it to be that any thicker than that for as long as they are properly structured. And there are nail techs out here that just genuinely believe. Matter of fact, there's one that I follow. She called herself Thicker Nails, thicker girl or something like that. Like that's her thing. Huh?
Do they look good? They don't look.
I don't think so. I think they look atrocious. But she got a book full of clients and she's making money because clients want that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I think that thick nails are horribly ugly. That's not how I personally want my nails to look real. Now, there are people out there that don't mind their hair looking fake. Like, again, they just throw that wig on. They don't do no customizing, no nothing. All you got is this moon-shaped hairline, right? You just like, you don't care, right? Or you just want people to know that you got fake hair on. Me, personally, I would like it to blend a bit. I want you to think, fake it till you make it, as they say, okay? So I'm not particularly going to want a nail shape that is obviously a fake nail, but there is a thing. Shout outs to her. She got plenty of clients and got plenty of followers, and she is making money. That's what they say, there's somebody for everybody. And there's a nail tech for everybody too. I ain't doing it. If you ask me for some thick nails, I'm gonna just say, I'm sorry. That's just not that's not my style, okay? So, again, it's a look, it's a thing, it ain't mine. All right, so the thickness though, let's get back to it. The thickness is very important. We want the next, so when you guys are, when you have your form on, you guys make sure, and you'll see me doing this when I lay an acrylic nail on with a form, okay? I'm constantly looking at the tip of the nail. Okay, I'm going to put this form on, and when I apply my acrylic, I'm looking at from this view right here. Let me put it back up here. I'm looking from this view. I want to see, when I lay my acrylic, that it is even on all the full entire C curve. All right, from one side to the other. If you look at it and you lay your acrylic like you don't have a file, then you won't have to file for 100 years. Okay, so when I'm shaping the nail, I'm always looking at, that's the first thing I look at, how thick this part is, because one of the pet peeves I have when people send me pictures of their nails, they do this. They send me a picture of it like this, and I'm like, I can't see that. I can't see nothing. All I see is the front view. I don't see the back, the sides, the C curve, the side walls. I want to see. Send me a picture of your nails like this. No, seriously. If you're telling me you want me to critique your work,
okay. Oh, yeah.
like, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Send me a picture of your nails like this from a side view. And then send me a picture of them all lined up like this so I can see the front. So, because anybody can make it look good from this view, but how do I know how thick they are? I can't tell unless the same thing. When you taking pictures and you giving them good angles. You got that neck up, you got the camera up high. Make sure they don't see your goozle. You ain't doing like this. You know what I'm saying? That's why you get mad when people catch you and they're taking a picture of you, and then you're like, why? You like, why you get that? Girl, why you didn't tell me so I could give you my good side? You know. You want to be, you know, when you want to show somebody that booty, you not showing them from the front. Well, they say if you can see it from the front. Okay. But you're not showing, you going to turn to the, you know how y'all do? Turn to the, or better yet, is this one right here. I'm going to get my booty. One more client. One more student paying full. I'm going right on down and get it. I did what I needed to do. Now, I'm going to see about me. Okay, I'm going to be taking me some back pictures too.
You gotta put me first.
Yeah, I got to take care of y'all first. All right, so the thickness, looking at that, right? It needs to be uniform from side to side, okay, from sidewall to sidewall. Your C curve, remember what we talked about as far as what a 50% C curve is? Look, see how this is like a circle, right? So a nail will be half of that, 50% C curve. When you pinch it a little bit more, you get like a coffin nail. That's like a 30% C curve, right? Okay. So remember, we practiced our on the papers, didn't we? When we were practicing our beads. I was gonna say boss. Our beads. Okay. When we were practicing our beads. So you practice doing this on a paper. So now, and last week, we practiced laying it on tips. What did you think about that, Jasmine? How do you think you did?
I did pretty good.
Yeah, you did pretty good. Shayla was here, so I didn't look
she's
at
very
everybody.
smart. She got with everybody.
Yeah, she gonna do that. That's why I got her here with me, because she gonna sit down with everybody and make sure. It's only one of me. I can't do everybody and teach and pay the bill. That's true. Saturdays, that's a different story. So now what I want you guys to do, who doesn't have, she the only one that got nails on, right? Okay, yeah, you are the only one. I want each one of y'all to attempt to put a form on her fingers, okay? And she gonna do me, okay? But you go first, okay? No, you. All right. Matter of fact, come on up here in the client seat, so that they can, right up here. Come sit right here, and then that way we ain't got to do all that moving of chairs and stuff. Come on and sit right here. And I want to see each one of y'all put one on her finger. Okay, I'm gonna cut this live off real quick. Get you a chair. You can bring a chair, but I just didn't want to have to move too many chairs. Okay. All right. Will you use the same technique for polygel? I don't know what you mean, Andrea.
They use forms for polygel.
Yeah, you can use form. You can use anything gel with forms, and you can use all of that. Okay. So let's see how. She said you got it. She said you got it.
You were cheering everything, boo.
Not boo.
Try to use boo to sweeten it up.
Right. Like, no, you got it.
Well, I'm cleaning it up. And she putting the camera over here.
Yep, I want to see. I want to see your technique.
Okay, first here I'm gonna reinforce it, okay?
Okay.
Letting you know.
Is it blurry? I need autofocus on here. I know it's a way to do it.
Scared I'm gonna rip it and like break it.
Well, it's all right. You do need to rip it. Okay. Now remember, you're gonna put your very, very gently squeeze the very tip of it together. Turn it up, turn it around, turn it around. Look at what you're doing. You want to put the tips the wings. That's the wings. Put it just very gently, squeeze it. Gently. There you go. Not all the way to the back, just the tip. Because if you put it all the way to the back, you're going to put it on her finger.
Okay.
Now open it back up. Okay. You got this, Olivia Jean. Olivia Jean? Look at those perfect, see, she got perfect fingers for this. Now rock it up. It don't need to be tipped up. Look at your, before you stick it on, let go of them wings, let go of them legs, let them go. All right, let them go. Turn her finger to the side so that you can see the side. Are them guidelines straight? Yeah, you can move her arm, it moves. Cause she all down in the table. I'm like, move that client's arm. There you go.
Okay, that's straight.
It's straight. Now once it's straight, now you stick the legs to the finger. Just stick them. Just grab, there you go. That's it. Boom.
She got skinny fingers, her go together.
Okay.
Alright, what shape
Is
you
it
want?
straight? Is it straight now? Is it straight down the middle? Yeah. What about your guidelines? Are they straight?
Not anymore.
Well, what happened?
I know, I'm not really sure.
Well, fix it.
I am.
There you go. And it's probably just a hair. As I say, you see how her finger's moving with it? So kind of hold her finger. There you go. Now. Okay.
Really?
What you think? Because it's your finger. Is it straight? I would say it is.
Yeah, it looks straight to me.
Yeah. Okay. So, you did good.
Mhm.
Clap for yourself,
did.
girl. Clap for yourself. You did good. Okay. All right. Excellent. Now, that is how you apply a generic. I'm trying to say.
Still looking at it. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah.
That is how you apply a salon style form. Okay. Nothing fancy. Nothing too crazy. All right. That's how you do it. All right. Come on, Jazzy Boo. Pick another finger.
Look, I even put you a form right there, so you ain't gotta use one of them. That's how sweet of you.
So sweet. She's so sweet. All right, we're gonna do another one.
And she's still gonna use hers.
Breathe through it.
I'm sorry.
Go drink your coffee.
How do you do that?
I try to go back to being a short nail girly, but the way I'm set up, I don't know. She gonna pick the day I took my wig out this morning and got us on camera.
Put your tips together. Squeeze the
Squeeze my tip.
just gently and right at the tip so that you don't close it up so much that you can't put it on her finger. There you go. Okay. Open up. That's good. You ain't got to, don't worry about that. Well, don't worry.
It ain't, the white ain't.
Oh, it
the
ain't
white
straight.
Yeah.
See how that, so my advice to you when you go to state board is take off your nails. Do not wear nails. Do not wear nails to state board.
I pay my bills.
Paid your bill. She paid her bill. She paid her.
My bills is paid.
Y'all, I went to the tanning
my
bed
bills
yesterday.
is
I
paid.
should not have. I done burnt my behind. All right. Okay.
Barely have a nail on this one.
No, you got plenty. Okay. So, just grab it by here. Grab it by here, open up the legs, and just grab it here and shove it on the nail,
Okay.
just like that. Don't try to hold the legs at all yet, because it will stick. See, let go. Bring your hand. You see that?
Oh.
So just because it's got a sticker on it. So
It's
just
like
use the tip, open up the legs, and then adjust it before you do any sticking. See, I can do it right here with my hand, with one hand.
Okay.
All right. Don't try to hold the legs open. You can get it without holding the legs open. That's what he said. Make that client move her fingers around so you can see what you're doing. Pick up her hand, look at it, and make sure it's straight. Check your guidelines before you stick it down. Make sure that you're not tipped down. Good. That looks great. She straight?
Yeah, she's straight. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Now you do me.
Lord. I would have to do Miss Mary.
You do me.
Out of everybody's,
You've been practicing.
she had to break a nail. Who told her to break a nail?
I'm just proud I haven't. It's been a good bit since Miss Jasmine did my nails.
I told you about calling me Jazz without me Jazz. You out of school now.
I'm out of school now. I'm grown, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How much older are you than her?
Oh.
How old are you?
She's like 18.
Yeah, she went to school with my baby, like with my child.
You Miss Jasmine.
No.
You Miss Jasmine.
That's
In the South?
Yeah.
You Miss
I
Jasmine.
hate that. That's
Yeah.
Call me Miss Mary. Shit, I earned it.
Yeah.
I earned all these years. I'm Miss Mary. Miss
It
Mary.
flip flops. Sometimes I just call you Jasmine. Sometimes I call you Miss Jasmine.
Even Shayla still calls me Miss Mary.
I think 'cause I hung out with
Yeah,
me and her
I
brother
was about to
friends.
say whenever.
That
Don't
was
squeeze too much.
Okay.
you was a little
Okay,
tagline back then.
Now open it up. Yep. Remember what I just told her? Hold the tip of it. There you go.
You remember when me and Mama had to come home from our family vacation because Mackie threw a party at the house and the cops show up? He got
Push it on
arrested.
back.
Why was I hurt?
I
They
left my
don't
ball
yet.
down there.
You
Look,
said yeah.
See that that
Still ain't
left
got it back.
leg, the left leg where you open it up a little bit.
That's all Mackie's
Pull
supposed
it
to.
open.
Wherever
Open.
you went.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now put it. Push it. There we go. Now she under there.
Oh.
Now she's under there. Before you lay it down,
Oh, I need to check. I
you
need
need
to
to
check.
check.
You know,
It's
I was
gonna
sitting here
stick.
thinking I was
Turn it loose a little bit. Let it go.
a year ago.
You got to be so tight.
2 years ago, whenever
Okay.
I was in my
Now.
partner, Mikey was probably right there beside me, like judging the crap out of me. Like it was. But baby, he was doing the same
Okay.
thing.
Hard, it's so hard.
All this guideline straight
Mm-hmm.
I remember him
on the
and-
side,
I
from the
forgot who it
side.
was, moved to H
Is it
Street,
tipping down or is it?
and it was like right behind my house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, the days.
So gentle.
So gentle. There you go. I think we're good. Yeah.
Good job.
Good job. Got a little gap there. See,
Where?
No.
Oh,
this
there.
Gap.
Okay.
You don't want it to be over flapping too much. Very good. Excellent. Okay, so now, I'm going to allow you to play first on the paper, the one with the pink
Okay.
form on it. Lay some acrylic on there. That is my, I don't know if y'all noticed this, but that is my little fat finger. I took the pictures of that and put it there for y'all, okay?
Oh, how sweet.
That is my finger, all right? So,
You want me to throw these away?
So lay some acrylic on the paper first, and then I'm gonna let each one of y'all lay one on me.
Ooh. Actually,
Okay.
I think I'm sick.
She said I'm sick. My stomach hurts.
Yeah, I'm not feeling
Now
well.
I don't feel so good. I'm ready to go. Sorry, y'all.
Lightheaded.
I'm a little sick now. Building an apex, will you use the same form? Yes, Andrea. Yes, I will answer any of y'all's questions that you have right now. If you have any questions. Why is it showing? Boom, boom, boom. I will answer any of y'all's questions before I get off this live. I don't know what that is. red droopy eyes face, red heart shape face, red heart shape. I don't know what that means, Tammy,
Can
but
Mama
thank
come
you.
in and use the restroom?
She can.
I told her she could.
She
but I
can.
just wanted to double check.
I miss the old metal forms. Does anybody still make them? Yep, you late. I just showed some of them. Where they at? Where are they at? Yeah, get y'all acrylic out of y'all's lockers. Here's the old metal forms.
We're gonna use those.
Nah, somebody was just asking me. Can this class be done completely online? It cannot. Inbox me, unbothered Taurus. We may have some other option for you. Inbox me. Yes, they still make them, and I think they're great for duck shaped nails. But other than that, no use here. No use for that. Okay, I'm going to end this live on YouTube. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all ain't said nothing, so I'm going to finish it. End it out. Bye.